Hey everybody, welcome to this edition of Whiskey at Work as we're getting ready for the big 4th of July holiday.
Is anybody still
How
watching this
excited
besides your mother-in-law?
I have
What are you doing for the 4th of July, Joni?
I have a handful of people that tune into this. They don't post or anything or comment or interact or
Oh, that's helpful. Thanks.
let me know, but every once in a while I can go to the YouTube and see 7 views. And I'm
7?
like, this is quite a day,
This
everybody.
almost makes it worth doing for the last year.
You know, we don't do this for you, honestly. We do this because it's 4 o'clock on a Tuesday, and it's time to drink. And the company said, "Sure, you guys go for it."
Rob's getting mad again. Get him a cocktail.
I'm glad nobody really higher up than the rest of us have paid much attention to this.
That's the benefit to doing something that's so unsuccessful, is you just skirt under the radar and nobody at any point is like, hey, should you be drinking at work in the basement?
Or,
No one asks that because no one knows.
Should you be trying harder? That might be the other thing they say.
If we try harder, then we'll have to drink less, and frankly,
Oh.
it's not a future I'm interested in.
Nobody wants
This
that.
isn't for you.
Well, this was, we accidentally kind of
Now we
stumbled.
lost them
My
too.
art.
We accidentally kind of stumbled onto this, actually. I bought this bottle because I was in the middle of, I don't know, someplace in the upper peninsulas around one of the Great Lakes. It was Memorial Day, and it was the only liquor store I could find that was open. And so I walked in, and the
Jeez,
guy...
Michigan, you suck.
Oh, it was weird. So I walk in, the guy's super excited because he's like a customer. I must have been the first one of the day. It was 4:30 in the afternoon. And
That's
I saw
not when I'm the first customer.
I saw this sitting on the shelf, and I thought, well, I've never had it before. I'm going to buy it. I think it was like $30 is what they charged me for it. And then we were thinking about what our next episode was going to be, and we realized the 4th of July was coming up, and Born with a Republic.
I'm just excited that we're drinking a whiskey that you paid for.
Now that's kind of uncalled for, I think. I think I've put a fair
Accurate,
amount
though.
of money. I think of the three of us standing here,
Really?
I just wish you guys would have brought like some 4th of July snacks.
well,
That's what I was looking
what would
for.
we should have barbecued something.
The
That would've made
the
sense.
grill's outside your
We
office.
could have had,
isn't.
Why didn't we put a grill up there?
Because we
Haven't
determined that it was ineffective and also a little insane.
Okay.
Scott's got a grill outside his office.
We'd have burned the building to
Scott
the ground.
would be grilling for himself and Ingrid and the occasional.
He hasn't
3
invited
other
us over.
people.
Yeah, to the
Can
other
you
side yet.
imagine if we had to put a grill out that we would have to cook like 3 burgers at a time? And there are like 75 people that we would need to feed. It would take
We only
days.
have to feed people that we like. That would be roughly 3.
My God,
burgers.
let's do it. Let's get one.
Our
We don't
cool-
even need 3 burgers.
Our cool
Just
new
gonna make the one
offices
for me.
have decks on the outside. Well, one on our side we have one, which is in Kelsey's office, and then the other side
actually
has like
outside of
2 or 3. Yeah, that kind of go around. So we got to get her to
Weird
put a
to have a
barbecue
deck
grill up there.
inside.
And we could do this. Anyway, this was. Did you guys know anything about this? You said you had it before, didn't you, Rob? Do you remember?
I did have 1776 several years ago, and it was in a vastly different bottle.
Really?
Ugh.
Well,
Nope.
all right. I guess we're done here. This the review has been made and we're finished.
Yeah, you know, when we started
Kelsey.
this, we wanted somebody that didn't like whiskey all that much.
That's
I
true.
didn't like
And now you seem to be reverting.
I'm
That's been your
regressing.
reaction
I'm regressing.
more than...
Yeah,
More
it
and
turns
more.
out I'm not that interested in drinking.
We really are struggling to find a whiskey that you like anymore. It's
Yeah, I
been
know.
outside of the flavored ones. We're having some issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are we going to fix this?
I don't-
It's not going to be
I don't.
1776,
Boy,
obviously.
is it not.
Oh, there's some black velvet behind you. That might have been the last one you thought was okay.
I think I'm getting more excited to find the backstory of these whiskeys than I am in actually drinking a lot of them. Because, man, you can uncover some cool stuff about this, whether it's good or not.
I would
Right?
like to pause here
Okay.
and reflect on the learning to drinking ratio and what you're uncovering versus how much you are just drinking. Because what I know here about this guy, based on the notes over here,
Right.
are helped popularize the old fashioned, maybe or not.
The history.
He maybe
history
thought
is
of it.
Iffy.
We're not sure.
Iffy.
They didn't have the internet in the 1800s. I mean,
I'm just saying, like, what
not
we're
like the
uncovering
Dead
is
Sea
shaky at
Scrolls.
best, and you're like, it's from the original recipe, and it says 1776 on the bottle, but then we find out that the original recipe is post-prohibition?
The recipe for this was post-prohibition. Yes. The original recipe from like the late 1700s lost to history. But I can't imagine it tasted all that good. I can't imagine any whiskey from then tasted all that great. So it's probably for a good reason that we don't have it anymore, don't you think?
Maybe.
You're not going to like this one or the old one anyway,
No,
so I
I'm
don't know
not.
what I don't know.
I'm here to
what-
tell you what's wrong with the whiskey and what's wrong with your show. Thank you.
Well, but it is
could be
I
the
love-
co-host. I don't know.
I love reading about the people that created this stuff because they're all so eccentric. Has there ever been one that's been I'm just a normal working distiller and I'm going to make a good whiskey? They're all bizarre dudes. Is that how you have to be to make this kind of
Well,
stuff?
I think a lot of these people, just had money to do it.
Well, that could. And he was the
I
third.
think it's a lot
Maybe a
about.
super rich normal dude. Not very often.
No, probably not. James E. Pepper is the name on this bottle, along with 1776. It was, but he was one of those guys marketing people would have loved, because everywhere he went, he had a train just covered with Old Pepper logos all over it as he'd travel around the United States. He had a car and a carriage, and he owned a bunch of Kentucky Derby horses that were all just slammed with these banners, Old Pepper everywhere. So the dude knew how to market his stuff. He was
Did he call himself Old Pepper?
Old Pepper. Probably he had to.
Was he the old
I think
Pepper?
the missus did. I think that was
Maybe she needs some new pepper.
when they had about half a bottle.
No.
He
No.
became the Old Pepper. But no, he was, in that sense, he was one of those guys that, maybe you would compare to like a Steve Jobs or somebody that's just really good
Boy.
at taking their product.
Deep.
Well, and making and making
As
something
a
out of it.
drinker of this whiskey and the user of the iPhone, I can tell you that is not a fair comparison.
Well, maybe back in the 1880s it was, maybe.
That's
I
true.
don't know.
This works. This is as good as an iPhone was in
Right,
the 1880s.
the first iPhone, maybe. Right. But he's he built the first distillery, kind of ran it into the ground. He had to get money from E.H. Taylor, who, if you're a whiskey drinker, you'll know he has a very high-end bourbon. He couldn't pay E.H. back, so E.H. took his distillery from him and turned it into what is now Woodford. So the Woodford Distillery used to be James Pepper's distillery before because he couldn't pay his loan back. So
I can't make this shit up, folks.
this was the kind of cycle he would catch himself in, is doing something, losing it, doing something, losing it, but constantly moving forward until he slipped
on
on
the ice and
ice in
died
New
in
York,
New York
and
City.
died. Yeah, that's how James E. Pepper's tragic end came
Maybe
about.
that's what you needed to do, is start figuring out how all of the distillers died.
that
Because,
would be
kicking a safe and dying of gangrene and
falling down.
falling on the ice and smacking his face.
Boy, I
or
bet you we
whatever
could
it
do a
was.
whole for Halloween. We could do a whole death series on distillers.
I'm very interested in a death series.
The faces of distillers' death.
Yes.
Do we have any place around here semi whiskey related that's in a cemetery? I mean, that would have somebody that's in the cemetery that
You
did
wait
the
till I
whiskeys?
die. My headstone.
Rob might be finished by October, so maybe we could go
headstone.
there.
Lover of whiskey, bourbons.
But again,
Just
this
waiting for you to die, and then that'll be the episode.
it's going to be the whole thing. It's
As soon
going
as
to
you
be.
slip on some ice, we're gonna get.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not slipping on ice. I'm cat.
We'll see.
Cat-like reflexes.
Pushed, slipped. We don't know how it'll go
that
down.
I can get.
Anyway, it's okay. I wouldn't say it would ever be top my list anywhere, but I think the guy that owns it now, I just think he reopened it back in 2008 because the distillery sat empty for about 50 years, and now I think it's on the registry in Kentucky as a historic place, and now they're cranking out from the recipe from 1934. So it's good. I mean, it's drinkable, and if somebody poured it to me, I'm not gonna say Kelsey's reaction when she took her first
Not
sip.
switching to cream soda in the middle.
Right,
of it.
by any means. But you know, it's for $30 a bottle. Man, I don't think you can go wrong with something like that.
It's plenty palatable in my opinion. Again, it's probably not one that I would buy. The thing that I do find interesting is that it does say that it's partially distilled in Lawrenceburg, Indiana. So
Well, and you saw that on their website.
on their website.
In the bottle clearly says distilled in Kentucky.
Yeah, but I think if that one, I think it is partially distilled in Kentucky, but it would say Kentucky straight bourbon on it. I think if it
Well, you would be silly not to put that on there
If it was
if it was.
exclusively distilled. In
So this
Kentucky.
so this is partly and most likely an MGP product as well then.
I'm guessing they're making part of it.
Okay.
It's probably a blend of some sort.
I don't think I've ever seen this bottle around Rapid City or the Black Hills, a bottle of 1776 anywhere.
I saw the one that I bought. I think was on a soccer trip to help me get through. And
it is
it's
soccer.
hard to remember which soccer trip over the last 15 years that might have been. So
Yeah, I guess if you like I say, if you find a bottle for $30, it is worth picking up just for the history of
Give it
it.
a shot.
It's fascinating. Well, Kelsey, God dang it! So next week, I have a mission to find something that I think you would
here's
like.
a mission. How about we make Kelsey find one? We've been doing this for a year and a half. I don't think she's brought one to the table yet.
Have you brought one to the table yet?
Yes, of course.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe.
You want to remind us of which one that might have been?
No.
It's hard to say.
Now, honest question. Do you think you could find something that you think you'd like, or is it just off the table? Is it just
I
you're
don't
not?
know. I'm just not interested in it.
Well,
Like I
That was almost as good as Conan O'Brien's sign off. Huh?
anymore. I'm just not interested in it. Good night, folks. We're gonna try. We're gonna try to find something that she likes because I'm convinced that there's something out there that you not necessarily would buy and keep at home, but if somebody gave to you, you would sip and drink and enjoy. That's not
I
cream
thought you were
soda.
going to try to drink it with the front at the back.
No, I was just showing the label.
Anyway, thanks so much for watching
Safeway brand cream soda.
this edition.
$2.99 a 12 pack.
This one's not going down.
$30 for this.
You guys cover for me for a second.
All right, well, that's it. Have a nice day.
Thanks for watching.